Hey guys, my name is Elizabeth Schilke, and today I'm going to be talking about Peru's floating islands and assessing the impact that tourism has on them as a whole. I will start out with some background history. Dating back to Incan times, the indigenous Ural people have lived on Peru's floating islands of Lake Titicaca. At 3,820 meters on the western shores of the highest navigable lake in the world, hunting, fishing, and bartering goods have long filled the days of the Euro, who left the mainland to protect themselves from the hostilities of their rivals, the Inca and the Cola. Peru's floating communities include 70 islands created completely from native totora reeds of the shallow waters of Lake Titicaca. There are many small islands and one central island, known as the hub. The dense root system of the reed forms the base of these islands. Creating an island is an ingenious and hard task. Roughly 4 islands are made per year, as the reeds tend to rot and the islands sink. Even with all this moving around, the people on these islands live their lives undisturbed by the outside world, moving from island to island, hoping to continue to grow in their culture and identity as a people. Tourism is a large part of these islands. The islands used to be located much further out from any civilization, but after a devastating storm, the islands were moved closer for safety reasons in case of another mass occurrence of this sort. Tourists began to be welcomed and were encouraged to experience the Euro way of life. There are many positive and negative impacts that tourism has on the Euro people, but in the case of social impacts, it is most definitely positive. The Euro people welcome tourists with open arms and thoroughly enjoy showing them their lifestyle and teaching them their ways. The Euro people hope to spread their culture to others and thoroughly enjoy interacting with the outside world. Each island consists of roughly 6 families, and it is nice for them to branch out and meet new people. Tourism gives the Euro people many different opportunities socially and allows them to branch out and teach their culture and lifestyle to others. The economic impacts on the people of Euro are fairly positive as well. The islands keep themselves segregated from the outside world, and because of this, they don't pay taxes for their land. The people run everything themselves, and believe that they don't need the help of others. Even with this, tourism does bring in some money for the people, which is helpful for equipment needed to sustain their way of life. For example, tourism money could be used to pay for fishing rods to catch the abundant rainbow fish that feed the Euro people. Overall, tourism has a fairly positive economic impact on the people of Euro. Although tourism is a very good thing for the Euro people, it could also have negative impacts on the people living there. The people of Euro want their children to grow up undisturbed by the outside world and completely and utterly integrated into the Euro way. With rising amounts of tourism, this can be a colossal difficulty. Even though they may not see it, more people flooding in from the outside world could potentially influence children and people living on the islands and cause them to be incontent and want to leave the island. It is also strange for people on the island to be watched by tourists, and it could potentially make them feel like a freak show to have people openly stare at them and visit them as they would animals at a zoo. The culture of the people could also potentially be tainted by the coming and going of tourists, as they bring their own cultures with them thenceforth, influencing the culture of the Euro people. On the whole, tourism most definitely affects the culture and livelihood of the indigenous people involved. 2 ways in which the harmful impacts of tourism could be reduced would be, firstly, to visit the islands less. Having tourists visit the islands too often could potentially damage the people and their culture, and this is most definitely not a good thing. The second way in which harmful impacts could be reduced would be by making sure that everyone visiting the islands had nothing with them to cause pollution or any other sort of environmental damage. This has been a huge problem for the Euro people in the past, as pollution has caused the totora reeds to grow shorter, and these reeds completely and utterly support the Euro lifestyle. In my opinion, the tourism experience is most definitely ethical. I believe this for 3 reasons. The first reason is because it provides a way for the people of Euro to branch out and to show people their wonderful lifestyle. The second reason is because it humbles tourists and teaches them about the culture of another place. And the third reason is because it also provides a way for the people of Euro to make money so that they can continue living in their way of life and flourishing. On the whole, tourism can be a very tricky thing in many situations, but in my opinion, in this situation, it is something very positive that blesses many different people.